back at WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. We're positively down here at Faidley's in the original Lexington Market, which only began 1782, which about a week and a half ago. All of it brought to you by the Maryland Lottery. I got the 50th anniversary scratch-offs to give away. We'll be giving these away all summer long. I've already given a couple away. I had a $2 winner here a couple of days. It's a meager amount, but I did have a $100 winner here on these tickets back on opening day right here at Faidley's. Marty Gary was a great guest educating us about catfish and eating crabs and the Bay and the Potomac and all the good things going on. Damye's going to join us in a couple of minutes as well. I had a great morning with Bill Cole talking about summer and 4th of July in the city and crab cakes. And nothing more Baltimore than this place, which is about to become that place. And a couple of months ago, the new Lexington Market opened up. Paul Ruppert is the president and CEO, it says here, of Lexington Market Incorporation, Baltimore Public Markets Corporation. That means he's got a lot of good food about 40 yards away. I came down for the crab races a couple weeks ago. I didn't beat B.J. Suroff because he's a more competitive man than I am. I didn't realize you had to beat on the crab to make them move. I was just trying to catch them with their eyes, and my crab wasn't moving. So I lost the crab thing, but I was a big winner that day because I spent the day at the market. I've been in the new market, I want to say 5 times. I was a part. This is back when I used to be in the media. I got invited to the Hootenanny over there when they opened up the first night. And then I found myself not just here, but at Oriole games, opening day. My wife came down to visit with a friend a couple Saturdays ago. We did come in and have a crab cake. The new market, every time I've been in there, it's been really vibrant and really full of people and full of newness and full of, hey, I would come back here. That's definitely the feeling I've had in the new market.
Well, that's great to hear. We certainly put a lot of time, effort, and money into that project, so we're very happy with how it turned out. It's not quite complete. We're obviously waiting for Faidley's to come over and join us there. Once we get them in there, it'll feel more complete to us, and we're looking forward to moving forward.
I didn't even know the thing was at the bottom. I had been up in the top 2 or 3 times, and then I had to pee. And they're like, oh, the bathroom's down the steps. I'm like, steps? And I went down the steps, and I went to the bathroom, and as I'm coming back up, I'm walking up the steps, and people are sitting and eating because it's sort of like a bench step area. But I look up, and there's Eddie Murray and Cal Ripken in their 83 Orioles white panel smiling at me, and I was about to have lunch with Ryan Ripken. So I took a little selfie of myself with Eddie and Cal, and I had lunch with them a couple days later, and I'm like, your dad's face is on, like, the wall at the new Lexington Market if you want to go check it out, you know. The Baltimore feel of it, and I think all of us that were familiar, other than Bill Cole, who wasn't at the old market, but everybody else in the city was at the old market. And I'm in the old market right now, and I'm on the, I guess I'm on the southwest corner of the old market. And when we said new market, and you conceptualize and say what we want the new market to be, what were the couple of things that had to be a part of it, other than Faidley's, but had to be a part of the new market?
So number one, we needed a brand new building. So the building that we're currently in was built in 1950. And it's seen a great time, but its life is coming to its end. And so we needed a new building, and we wanted to take that opportunity and say, okay, what do we want to bring over from the old market to make connections to our history, but what opportunities are there to change the market as well, to make it modern, to match 2023 and beyond? What
makes a place modern to you? What not just the Harka ice cream, because that's pretty modern, but you got Ovenberg Bakery and their newer brands.
So that's a big piece of it. Our opportunity to, again, have some of the old legacy vendors come in, but also match with newer folks. One of the important projects of what we're trying to do is to have the market match the kind of the piece of Baltimore, right? And so that means more stalls that are owned by women, more stalls that are owned by African Americans, more stalls that are owned by city residents. So that was a goal for us as we opened that new market.
So when you open a new market, you say we have stalls, because that's the word for it, right? It's business frontages. Yep. And I've been to, Our House and sort of newer markets. I saw what they did down at Cross Street, which is lovely. I lived in that neighborhood, and Broadway after the fire and everything that happened there. What's the limitations of stalls? Because it felt like you had a blank canvas to do a new. I mean, there were incredible limitations in this building, right?
That's right.
Just in general, from spacing to design to it looking more like a flea market, right? I mean, that's the beauty of it. It looked like It looked like a farmer's market, like
Yep.
a flea market.
Yep.
And they still have that in Dundalk. I mean, over in the
Right, the
Dundalk
Patapsco.
plot. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
oh,
I
right,
go
yeah.
over there all the
Yep.
time. There's
And-
local vendors.
Yep.
That's a little different than like mature businesses,
Right.
like in saying we're going to have a clean kitchen and a clean space, and we're going to plan refrigeration, all the things that Damye has to consider in moving over there. Of like, she's made it work over here for almost 100 years in this sort of environment. But if you redream it and you say, what should it be moving forward? You're thinking about all sorts of modern things, and I'm just thinking about water, refrigeration,
That's right.
cleanliness, so all of those things you want to have around food markets, but doing it from scratch allows you to make it, quite frankly, awesome. Make it better for everybody,
Yep.
including the customers.
No, I agree, and we were able to add in that natural lighting. That was really important, and bring it up to code. So we love the old Lexington market with its sloped floor, but that's not code.
It's killing me today. It kills me every time I come. Damye, Damye's like, you're the only one that stands here. Everybody else sits. And I'm like, this slope floor, I'm going to be at Dr. Steve at the LA Chiropractic today. So I just got it to crack. There you go. I felt like a goof doing this in the last segment, but like moving my hip. By the way, you have music over there sometimes, huh?
We do, both
I
inside
danced when
and
I was over
outside.
there
Yep.
last time I was there.
Yep.
Made my hips move just like that. For you with food and vendors and like I went, my friend that came 2 weeks ago, Damye, her son had some special needs, and he really only likes fruit. And when I went to the bathroom 2 hours before I came over, I saw all the watermelon, I saw the fruit, and I guess I didn't see it on the Packer Street side when I came in. But in thinking through vendors and saying I can still get fried chicken, I can get an egg roll. There's a lot of different things I can get in there.
That's right.
When moving the over the course of I guess 2 years in moving vendors, give me a little bit of a flavor for who took what spots and where Faidley's is and where people wanted to be. Because you mentioned lighting and things like that, things that I didn't even think about that
Yep.
would make it feel hospitable.
Yeah. So for Faidley's, we wanted to put them in the exact same corner that they are in the current market. So that's that southwest corner they're going to be in the new market.
They're a block closer to Camden Yards that
Block
way.
closer to Camden Yards. And what's also nice is they're going to have their very own outdoor space. And that's something new for them. So it's just dedicated to their customers. So we're
So
excited
what you're
about
saying
that.
is I can eat this crab cake and this shrimp salad and these fried oysters with a beer, important,
Yep.
outside.
Yep. Under
Right.
umbrellas. And
Well, I'll be
everything.
doing that on opening day. Maybe I'll broadcast opening day next year because there'll be
Good.
unlimited space. She tried to get me in here this year to do opening day. I said, you only have so much space in here, and people want these. Although I did have a $100 winner on our Maryland lottery tickets. Paul Ruppert is here. He is the president and CEO of all things Lexington Market. Capacity, more vendors, more things,
So-
other than just Damye getting in there. It felt full to me when I walked through. I know it's not.
It's
but
not quite full. We've decorated it up so that it feels full, but we have another 20 vendors to move in over the course of these next 6 to 8 months. And one thing that's also a little bit different when we look at those lower level and the upper level, so the upper levels you enter on Packer Street, the lower level is Utah Street. That lower level is more like our grocery store. So that's where you have our fresh fruit, but also the butcher, poultry, this fresh seafood is located downstairs. And then the prepared foods are upstairs. Of course, when we have Faidley's, they have their fresh fish as well as their prepared. So they're a little bit different. They're actually taking over the space of 5 stalls. So they're a much larger entity. They're really our cornerstone there. We're excited to have them in. And be
Damye,
able
you
to
come
have
around here. He got me a Lexington Market. Let me see this here. I'm going to show you some things. We'll do show and tell. Damye Hahn is back. She's over making crab cakes and making time with Marty Gary and learning more about catfishing and making him a crab cake and making everybody a crab cake. World famous Lexington Market since 1782. It's 100 degrees today. I mean, I'm going to really love this in November. I am, but I am appreciative. Nothing makes me feel more Baltimore positive than having Lexington Market stuff. Damye, people come up to you probably every day and say, hey, I hear you're moving 50 feet away. When are you moving to a new place? Give our audience a little bit of idea, because you're building out Catonsville, which is going to be a whole different kind of restaurant animal. But in rethinking what you've done in here, which is, I don't know if you can replicate it, but you've told me that when the witching hour comes, that Chickatink Bay sign is going over there.
Right.
And that neon is going to be the same neon over there, and the Steam It sign, all of these things your crazy parents
Yeah,
put
yeah.
together over
And
here.
grandparents.
And grandparents.
And
hung-
great-grandparents.
Hung in here for 100, how many years? You yelled at me.
136.
I said 100. She's 136.
There's a difference.
So, what's the Faidley's experience going to be over there?
It's going to be, one of the things that the market did a study, and of course we did our own studies before they even went down this path of building the new building, and what people wanted to see. And one of the things that we realized is that people didn't want us to change. They liked the fact that you stand next to somebody you don't know. They like the fact that you can get in and get out quickly. They like the fact they liked our open kitchen. This evolved out of necessity, but it has become a model, and it's a model that a lot of other restaurants have tried to copy.
Well, it's because your dad was in here every day for 50 years saying, well, that's not the right way to do it. We got to do it this way.
Well,
that's a pretty good version of your dad, too.
There was no hot food in Lexington Market until the late 1960s, and the first one to have, I think there was a little hot dog lady.
Wow.
There might have been, but nobody was, the hot food wasn't in here. They didn't have hoods.
It was a market.
It was a market. It was strictly grocery. So my family had been selling grocery, even Upland Game, for years. And my grandfather, though, had a little electric skillet that he would plug in, and he would cook himself a piece of fish for lunch. Well, people would be sitting there.
Did you just say Upland Game?
Yes. So
is that muskrat and all that?
Yes. So no, we
because
you
you said something, and I'm like,
pheasant.
Is that a country word? I've never heard Upland Game. That has never been uttered on my airwaves. I don't know that it's ever been uttered in my presence. Okay. I don't know that it was on the SAT test. Okay. What is Upland Game?
Okay, so
because somebody did yell, did they still have muskrat? Because you have that crazy sign over there with raccoon and muskrat.
Raccoon, muskrat. So when you think about the Chesapeake Bay and the Eastern Shore, there are a lot of meats that would be like
swamp bunny is what.
No, bayou bunnies is what you call the marsh rabbits, or the muskrat is marsh rabbit, bayou bunny, things like that.
I've never heard marsh rabbit in my life.
Duck
and raccoons. I got a raccoon that lives out in my bird feeder every night. We've named him Rocky.
Well, you fed him well.
He's cute. He's really cute. I wouldn't eat him, but he's cute.
Well, some people do eat them. But turtles, terrapin. Terrapin was a big thing in Maryland. Having terrapin stew was a big thing. And the seafood purveyors were the ones because they caught them along the Eastern Shore. So the terrapin was one. Eel was another. The ducks, the pheasants, chuckers, all those birds that the Chesapeake Bay was their feeding area, were all part of the seafood industry. And they are no longer, the DNR does not let you sell them. They have to be farm raised. But at one point, up until that point, we had them hanging here at Faidley's. That's
it's a market.
Green frogs. Green frogs were another thing. Frog legs. Everybody had frog legs on all the fanciest restaurants. There were frog legs. So the terrapin and the frog legs were more popular. Nobody ate crabs at that point, but they ate terrapin stew and frog legs. So those were things.
I forget how hillbilly we really are around here. When it comes down to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that
Perfect.
was so a lot of that anyway. The one of the things that people have
I love
said
this
is
show,
that,
Paul. I just learn stuff. It's great.
That they wanted us to be the same. So when the hot food started coming in, one of the things was my grandfather, like I said, would cook himself lunch, and then it became. People said, would you cook me some? And my grandfather
Can you steam
ended up
shrimp, right? Literally.
Well, my grandfather ended up putting a couple fryers in with fish, and our first lines were for fish. Our lines for crab cakes and other things came later. But we'd have lines out the door. We have churches up and down Saratoga Street, churches right here on the corner, St. Jude, and people would come on Friday. This is a Catholic city. And people would come on Friday to go to Mass, and they would only eat fish. And they were lined up at the door of Lexington Market to come get their fish for Friday dinner. And that happened for years. So that's how we ended up with this line the way it's developed and how it looks with this open kitchen, because we took the fish from this side, brought it over this side, and cooked it. So this is part of our story, the way that it's set up.
But it's going to look like this.
And
when
we're
I go in your
we're
place.
gonna keep it as part of the story. So there's going to be a place where you can see the crab cakes. There's going to be the same line where you can watch your food being prepared. And then there's going to be the front of the raw bar where you're going to be able to go up and get your oysters and clams, but turn around and come to the table. We don't have the space for this great big raw bar anymore, but we have the space to look like this. And then we'll have a space that with the fresh fish and crabs around into the center space of the market. So when you come into Faidley's, it's going to look similar in layout, and we've actually taken some really good 180 photos. So we will have the back wall wrapped in a photo of this, the old market.
All right.
So you'll be able to recognize. We wanted to make sure when people came in, they said, oh, yeah, that's the place I was 20 years ago or 30 years ago, or this is the place my grandfather took me. Because a lot of people move away and then come back, and if it's unrecognizable, we haven't done our job.
Yeah,
So we
it's
wanted
new,
to be
but you don't want it
recognizable.
to. You want it to feel old.
Correct. We wanted it to have all the pieces in it that people liked. And they
When's
said,
it really
don't
happening?
get rid of your signs. Don't get rid of your signs. So we're actually having a great big mezzanine where our signs can be plastered from top to bottom. So the signs aren't going anywhere.
When's it happening?
When's it happening, Paul?
Soon.
Paul's the answer man on that.
Did you
We're
guys,
getting there.
I mean, this was a pretty aggressive timetable. I mean, this is a big project. I mean, I've been coming down here for years. The fact that it didn't all happen in the first day, but the fact that I could still come here and get a crab cake, and when I leave here, go get an ice cream 50 feet away and have the crab races between. It's probably not ideal. I mean, it's probably not a perfect world, but it's not broken, right?
No,
not
it's
at all.
not. Not at all.
COVID was broken. Let's be honest. We've all been
COVID
broken
was
in the
hard.
last couple of years.
So
you know?
it was very important for the market to get the other. They had to shut down the rest of this market. We were independent. We were able to be closed off with our own door, still access to the bathrooms. So we were able to keep running. There were other merchants that weren't able to keep running, and it was really important for them to get up and running, get their stalls sooner than ours. And we thoroughly understand that. These people did without, income for a few months, and it was important for them to get that done. So as we're, as it takes time, not just the building, but each stall has to be built out individually. So it's taking them a little bit more time than we expected.
How many people need to come through the market to make it successful?
We have right now, we're on with only half the stalls filled, we have about 1 million people coming in a year. We're actually able to track that now. So we think that when Faidley's is there, we'll have well over 2 million a year, if not closer to 3 million a year.
Well, Oriole game days have been primarily when I've been down here.
Yep.
Concert, I came out concert a couple weeks ago,
Yep.
and we had a crab cake before. But the events that the CFG Bank Arena is bringing in, the events at the Hippodrome, and
the Hippodrome's amazing.
I had Ron
Yeah.
Legler here last time we were together. We spent time talking about Broadway, and the stadium and the Orioles' vibrance. I mean, like, I'm here on a day. We're here 4th of July weekend. They're doing floppy hats, and they're doing Shaquille O'Neal, and they're doing Hawaiian shirts over the weekend. They had Pride Night on Wednesday night. Just bringing down 20, 30, 40,000 people.
Yep.
That's got to be a honey spot for
Absolutely.
you
Yes.
and the market and for
Yep.
everybody, because if you're coming to an Oriole game and you're not going to the market,
Right.
you're kind of missing out. I don't know what else to say. I mean,
Right.
you want to go down Pickles and get a beer, but the Harbor's not the Harbor anymore. No offense, and this.
Yes.
It's not a backup. It's a better plan. It's closer to the stadium.
One nice thing we have here is we actually have affordable parking. So folks can park here cheaply, hit the Lexington market, and then walk down to the game.
Yep.
That's what I had my wife do
That's
last
an
week. My
easy
wife
walk.
met her friend down here, brought him for a crab cake, him and his boy. And I said, park right across the street here, man.
Yep.
It's easy
Yes.
in, easy out.
Yep.
And I hear people banging on Baltimore all the time, and it really angers me because I'm in the city 3-4 days a week, and I see all of this. I see people building it up, and there's just so many good things going on here, especially right now. Now, during the plague, I mean, I'll hear all of that, but every day I see it getting better, and I can crow about that on the radio because I drive through here and I park, and I know my
Right.
experience today was better than it was 2 years ago.
Right.
Because
And
the market's better.
Yep, I agree. I think we're seeing those first steps of a renaissance here in Baltimore. I think we see that in the arena. We see that in the new market. We see it lots of places. And I think that we're just on that upward trajectory.
Yeah. I went to the Hippodrome. I went to see the Frozen with my grandchildren last Sunday. And it was amazing how easy it was to get out and get home.
Yep.
I mean, we were literally back to Ellicott City in 25 minutes. There's no block up at the traffic lights. There's no traffic getting
The
out.
day
It
we
was
came
so
down was a
easy.
Saturday,
So easy.
and it was a little stickier because there's graduations at the arena.
Yes.
So there's just, you don't even think of it, there's just a lot of people that move through here. So when you say 1 million people come through the market, my stick may say to doubt that, but I think about how many people come through and transfer on a bus. When I had the mayor here, before he was the mayor, actually, he was city council president running for mayor. He sort of made that announcement in this space.
Right.
And I remember him leaving and Don saying, nice kid, I don't know if he can win. You have money, politics, all that. But he sat here and we talked about the market. He said, Nestor, I caught a bus every day of my life, twice a day coming through this market. He got dropped off here and moved to the other side, had to catch the other bus to go to Mervo. Yep. And you forget that it is, especially in the
Center
mornings,
City.
you see people rolling through here. So
That's right.
Paul Ruppert's here, Damye's here. She's been here forever. She's not going anywhere, although there's some rumors about Catonsville. But she will still be at the new Lexington market very, very soon. Still here at the old market. They're shipping these crab cakes everywhere in the world. This is the crab cake here. This is the Faidley's crab cake. It's room temperature now, so your mom would let me eat it, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's perfect.
Paul, I'll tell you what, I appreciate you taking some time coming over here today. Is there anything that people need to know that I've missed here in regard to the experiencing Lexington? Are you closed on 7 days a week? What?
We're 6 days a week.
6
so
days.
It's
Sunday, no.
We're closed on Sundays, yep.
Because my wife asked me about that this weekend, about the Orioles, because she came down Saturday. And so we can't go Sunday because Dame's closed on Sunday. But I was thinking the market's got to be closed on Sunday.
Yeah, the goal is probably in the new year to be open on Sundays, at least some of the merchants. So that's what we're working towards. We need to get everyone up and running first, and then we can expand those hours a little later into the evening and then add a Sunday.
Well, you want it to be vibrant. I mean,
That's
my
right.
wife and I lived downtown for 19 years. We lived 6 blocks from here. And on Sunday mornings, very sacred to us. We did it for almost a dozen years, the last dozen years. We went to the farmer's market.
Yep.
And we loved the farmer's market.
Yes.
And we went to the farmer's market. My wife still gets in the car every 2 or 3 weeks. She did this week because she brings the muffins home to me. I ate the muffins. I ate one of those muffins yesterday.
They have good muffins.
They have great muffins at the market. So but there's Sunday morning creating sort of a tradition, creating something where people come maybe after church, right? I mean, obviously, great place to come and eat afterwards.
Yes,
so
very much
come
so.
down and experience it, Lexington Market. They've given me a sweatshirt, which I'm appreciative. Don't need it today, but I'm skinny in Latin, man. I get cold in the winters here. I mean, all this global warming works to my favor, especially getting older. Lexington Market, down here between Utah and Paca. Come on down before an Oriole game.
Yep.
See
Come
Damye,
visit us.
see friends. Get one of those delicious Morning Glory muffins at the Ironbird. Go over to Taharka, take care of the local people, as well as the butchers down below and the folks that sell produce and sell delicious fruit. You downtown, you need some fruit, come to Lexington Market.
That's right.
Did I do a good enough job?
Fantastic.
All right. I'm going to step out, take a break, get back to some programming. Luke is on vacation this week. The Orioles don't let me in, so that's fine. I'll be watching on TV all weekend. The Twins are in town. It is 4th of July weekend. Want to encourage everybody to get out to the Heritage Fair this weekend if you get a chance to do that. That's in my homeland of Dundalk. That's I'll have my rock and roll hair out for that. Crack the Sky in town this weekend. Beer Garden is wide open as well. It is summer in the city. The Orioles are relevant. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. We never stop talking. Baltimore, positive.